Welcome, beautiful soul. My name's Virginia, and this is my yoga channel. I share for freedom, peace of mind, love. So let's practice. Welcome to this 40-minute handstand practice vinyasa flow. This is a power yoga. You are going to get a little bit sweaty, but it is for all levels. Whether you can do a handstand or not, you're in the right place to get a little bit of practice in. You might need a couple of blocks for balance and for some of the handstand drills, but if you don't have them, you could always use books, or if you have some cushions at home, that can also be helpful. Let's begin on the mat. Namaste, and good to practice with you. So we're going to come into our downward facing dog for our first posture. Flare out your fingertips, let your head hang heavy, and we're going to walk out the feet a little bit, make some space in those hamstrings, lifting one heel and then the other. You think about lengthening your chest towards your thighs, eye gaze is at your knees or your navel. And from here, I'd like you to ripple forwards to a plank, bring your shoulders over the wrists. Squeeze Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, the pelvic floor and the abdomen. Push the ground away. Then dip your knees down, push the hips back once more, and finally lengthen the heels down to the mat, back into your downward facing dog. Ripple forwards once more, shoulders over the wrists. And then I'd like you to bend your knees down, and this time little pulses up and down from those knees. Beautiful. Downward facing dog. Lengthen the chest to the thighs and then walk your toes about halfway down the mat. You're going to have your heels touching and your toes out. Take your right hand to your left ankle, look underneath your armpit. It's okay if your knees are bent. And then switching sides. Left hand, right ankle, look underneath your armpit. Breathe. Good. And then from here, I'd like you to take tiny little steps of your feet right up to the top of the mat. Going to take opposite hand to opposite elbow, sway from side to side, let your head hang heavy. Release the fingertips, unstack the spine, come all the way up. Good. From here, we come into Sun A. Raise the arms up on an inhale, look up. Exhale, we fold all the way forwards, forehead into your shins. Inhalation, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, step the right foot back and then your left. Take an inhale in your plank. Exhale, knees come down, chest and chin comes down. Slide your chest through the arms, flatten the tops of the feet, look up. Baby Cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhalation, roll over your toes, downward facing dog. Come back to the breath here. Come back to your dristi where your eye gaze is. Keep it the same, knees or navel, and watch the breath. Good. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees. Step your right foot forwards to the top of the mat and then your left. Inhalation is your halfway lift. Exhale, you fold all the way forwards. Inhale, we raise the arms all the way up, look up. Exhale, we're diving straight back down. Inhalation, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, step your left foot back and then your right. Take an inhale here. This time, can you do your full chaturanga? Bend the elbows backwards, hug them into your rib cage, and then upward facing dog. Look up, keep the hips lifted. Now your practice, if you do prefer to do knees, chest, chin, and a baby cobra, that's also fine, like we did in the first round. Exhale, we come into a downward facing dog. Take 5 breaths here, focus on the dristi, focus on the breath. And you'll start to realize for my practices, I always add in sun salutations. They might be very simple, but they're so effective for your energy body, your physical body. They're a great warm-up, but they're also raising your frequency. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, step your left foot forwards and then your right. Inhalation, halfway lift. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, we raise the arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. One more. Inhale, look up. Exhale, you fold all the way forwards. Inhalation, halfway lift. Exhale, we're going to bring the hands down, but I want you to do a little push before you jump back. So imagine you're screwing in jam jar lids into the middle of your mat. Push through your hands, lift your heels, and then jump. Inhalation, upward facing dog. Exhalation, downward facing dog. Take 5 breaths in your downward facing dog. If you have a dry breath in your practice, maybe you're including that now. That audible sound in the back of the throat on your inhale, audible sound in the back of the throat on the exhale. And then from here, we're going to walk about halfway down the mat again. And I'd like you to take a few bunny hops, bent knees to straight legs. It's going to help you get a straight leg jump all the way to the top of the mat. Really point your toes out behind you as you straighten the legs and look forwards. Now on your last one, don't get too out of breath. Jump all the way to the top. Look ahead and bring your legs to the top and try to keep them straight. Little float. Good, land softly. Inhalation, halfway lift. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, raise the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Okay, so we're going to come into chair pose. Bend the knees, raise the arms, look up. Every time you exhale, can you get a little lower into your chair? Really reach for your fingertips. Think about the tailbone lengthening down towards your mat rather than the back of the room. Squeeze Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Good. Exhalation, fold all the way forwards. Inhalation, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down. Going to step your right foot back and then your left. And come into your knees, chest and chin. Slide the chest through the arms. Inhale, cobra pose. Look up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up, inhale. Exhale, take your knee to the nose. Inhale, right leg lift. Exhale, take the knee across the body, this time to the left elbow. Inhale, the right leg lifts all the way up and back. Exhale, take the knee to the right elbow, hold it for a moment, push the ground away. And then I'd like you to silently step your right foot forwards. We come into a warrior one. Back foot is at a 45-degree angle. Interlace your fingers to get a little bit more open into the chest and look up. Root down through all 10 toes and keep your hips square to the short side of the mat. Keep breathing. Find that drishti, that eye gaze point. Keep it the same and come back to the breath. Good. Now from here, we're going to take it into a little bit of a deeper stretch for the arms. Left elbow bent with the hand behind the back, and that right arm comes underneath. Interlace the fingers, or you could keep the right fingers on top of the left elbow to make it a little less intense. Keep looking up. Good. Release the bind. Reach up. Exhale. You're going to bring your hands all the way down and lift your left leg to the sky for standing splits. Take one hand to the ankle to make this stretch a little bit deeper, and you're aiming to bring your forehead into the shin. You can even try both hands behind the ankle. Now we take our first hops for handstand. Try a little counterbalance. Have your right knee bent into your chest and your left knee bent above you. Take a few hops to practice it. If you get a little float, keep the palms lifted, fingertips down, heels of the hands down, and kind of move forwards and back from the heels of the hands to the fingertips. It's going to help you balance. Little switch of the legs in the air if you had it there. Inhale, we come all the way into the upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now remember, you can always pause the video if you want to take more practice on that counterbalance for your handstand. Well, let's move on now to that left side. Lift the left leg all the way up and back. Inhale. Exhale, take the knee to the nose, shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, the left leg lifts all the way up and back. Exhale, take the knee across the body. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, take the knee to the left elbow this time. Hold it for a moment, dome the upper back. Silently, you're going to step that left foot forwards, no noise. Coming into our warrior one on an inhale, look all the way up. Interlace your fingers to help us open up the chest a little bit more in this variation. Don't forget about the knife edge of your right foot. That's energizing into the mat. Good. Now, bend your right elbow. left hand on top, or maybe take that full bind, left arm coming underneath and the fingertips interlacing behind the back. Good, release, arms up, inhale. Exhale, fingertips come down, standing splits. Lift your right leg high to the sky, point the toes. Forehead to the shin, maybe one hand to the ankle, maybe even both. Good. And then from here, we take those hops for handstand. This time, left knee bent more into your chest, right knee bent above you. Take your hops, look forwards, really flare out those fingertips. Remember, little sucker cups with the palms. Palms are slightly lifted, fingertips down, heels of the hands down. Rock forwards, back, forwards, back. Point the toes, squeeze the heel to the glute. Good, maybe a little switch of those legs, coming down, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhalation, downward facing dog. Okay, so we're going to try like a little dolphin now. A little bit more warmth for those shoulders. Forearms down. Walk your toes in towards your elbows. Lift your right leg high to the sky and lean forwards. Lean, lean, lean. No weight left in your left toes. If you want, little hop for pincher. And again, could you get a counterbalance? Right knee bent above you, left knee bent into your chest. Don't worry if you're staying in your dolphin with one leg lifted. Beautiful. All right, release. And we're going to go straight into downward facing dog. Push through your hands. Good. From here, little shake of your butt. This is my favorite for releasing tension. Bend your knees, wiggle your bum, and then jump or step to the top of the mat. Inhalation, halfway lift. Exhale, you fold. Inhalation brings us through chair pose. Exhale, standing tall. Good. All right. Step or jump your feet apart to hip distance. Lift your chest on an inhale. Exhale, fold all the way forwards. Peace fingers go around your big toes. Look ahead. Exhale, fold. Elbows nice and wide out to the side. Suck in your lower belly. Create more of your forward fold by keeping space between your belly and the thighs. It's okay if your knees are bent. Edge that body weight into your toes. Good. Hands underneath your feet. Palms up, fingertips face back, look ahead. Exhale, fold, elbows wide out to the side. Okay. Look forwards, in. Raise those arms up to the ceiling. Palms face up. You come right onto your tippy toes. And now you're going to do little tiny steps to the back of the mat. And then tiny little steps all the way back to the front of the mat. You've got to keep the abs in. Squeeze Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Handstand, but from standing. All right, one more time. Good, lower your heels, swan dive the arms out, fold all the way forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down. Little toe taps. Tap your right set of toes to the wrists, your left set of toes to the wrists. That lean forwards. Maybe you want to grab your blocks. This makes it a little easier to get used to these toe taps. Try it with your hands on the blocks. Tap the right set of toes. Tap the left set of toes. And then you can try standing on the blocks. Tap the right set of toes. Tap the left set of toes. Good. Evil, but effective. Okay, so now try a little press. Remember, it's kind of like a little bit of jam jar lid action. You're screwing in jam jar lids into the middle of your mat. Flare out your fingertips, look forwards, and maybe both sets of toes can hop to your wrists. Come right onto your tippy toes before you push the energy into your hands. Maybe those legs can lift up. It takes practice, of course, and it always feels like it's going to be impossible until the sudden moment that your legs lift into that press. Keep going, trust me, it will happen. The more you do those little toe taps, the more you're going to find the strength to lift up. All right, so let's move into Malasana now. Have a little wiggle of your bum. Bring your hands into prayer, triceps energize into your thighs, body weight in the outside edges of your feet. Stay nice and wide across your collarbone. Breathe. Maybe close your eyes. Okay. You can take it a little bit deeper. Left fingertips down, right arm up. Look at your right palm. And then switch sides. Good. Coming back into the center. Let's take it into our crow pose, our Bakasana. Really strong chaturanga arms. Bend the elbows backwards. You've got to get the knees right high up on the triceps and lift your hips. The hips have got to be high. Little hover, or maybe one heel lifts and then the other. Step or jump back. Chaturanga, upward facing dog on your inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Right leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, take the knee to the right elbow. You can hold it here, or if you have a Kundinyasana, go for it. Have a little arm balance. Then we step the right foot forwards. Warrior one, inhale. Interlace those fingertips once more. Open up that chest. Arms behind. Come into that bind or that half bind. Bend the right elbow, hand behind the back. Left arm comes all the way underneath. Good. This time we're going to fly into a warrior three. Use your exhale to float. You can point the toes today. Let's create a little bit of length. Dial your left hip down to the ground and that chest is parallel to the ground. Reach the arms out wide now. Take a mudra, index fingers and thumbs touching, Dhyana mudra. Then from here, we're going to bring it forwards with that left leg and wrap it all the way around the right. Coming into your Garuda, your eagle. And then your right arm is underneath your left. Can you get a little lower? Open out the arms. Bring yourself back into a warrior three. Don't worry if you get a bit wobbly. And then you're standing splits. That left leg lifts high to the sky. Maybe one hand to the ankle, maybe both. Nice deep breaths. Good. And then we hop for handstand again. But this time I want you to try an L shape. So your left leg is high to the sky and your right leg is straight out behind you. Point your toes. And again, you got to look forward. Squeeze Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, pelvic floor, lower abdomen. Shoulders away from ears. Really push the ground away. A few more hops. And then maybe you can switch your legs for your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left side. Lift your left leg all the way up and back. Exhale, take the knee to the left elbow, hold it there. Maybe you want to try a little Kundinyasana if you have it in your practice. And then step the foot forwards, warrior one. Inhale. Interlace those fingers, look up. Take the bind of your arms now. Bend your left elbow, right hand on top, or maybe that full bind. Good. Fly to warrior three. Use your exhale. Dial that right hip down. Today we're pointing the toes. Create that length. Beautiful. Release the arms wide out to the side. Take your mudra. And then from here, we're going to wrap that right leg all the way around the front of the left. Left arm underneath the right this time. Get low. Good. Release. And we're coming back into that warrior 3. Fingertips come down, standing splits. And then hop for handstand. Remember, L shape this time. Right leg high to the sky, left leg long out behind you. Point the toes, shoulders away from ears. Maybe you're not hopping enough, or maybe you're hopping too much. Find the balance in between. And you can switch your legs for your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Are you getting tired? I might not be showing it, but those little smiles means I'm feeling it. Okay, a few more breaths in down dog or child's pose if you need it. Maybe you need to bring those knees down and that's fine. Come back to the drishti, the eye gaze, come back to the breath. And then we're going to take it into our pincher practice for the other side. So you might just be doing dolphin with the left leg lifted. Practice those pulses forwards, back, forwards, back. Or you can hop in for that pincher practice. Maybe your counterbalance this time. Your right knee is bent more into the chest, left knee bent above you. Now I know the counterbalance, it was my nemesis when I first began. I couldn't see why this was more helpful. But once you get the hang of noticing where your body is in relation to yourself whilst you're upside down, you will find that it becomes more helpful as time passes. You can also try using your block this time. Make a little L shape with your fingers around the edge of the block and really squeeze your fingertips into the block. It's going to help you to activate your forearms. Couple more breaths wherever you are. Remember, shoulders away from the ears once you're up. All right, let's take a child's pose together. Knees together, arms behind, palms face the ceiling. Breathe into the back of the body. And as you're in your child's pose, remember, it's not just about the postures. It's the journey to getting there. There's always something else to achieve, a new posture, new job, new amount of money, but we've got to enjoy the process with passion and let go of attachment to the results. And with that in mind, let's go for our next set of bunny hops. Wide legs, so your feet are wider than the mat, and then can you hop and bring your hips over the line of your shoulders. Really squeeze your heels to your glutes and be generous with your hop. If you're not generous enough, those hips are never going to get over your shoulders. Couple more. Use your exhale to jump. And then last one, jump your feet outside of your hands. Try to go slow. We're coming back into that malasana now. Hands into prayer, triceps into your thighs. Crown of the head lifts high to the sky. Let's open out a little bit wider again. Right arm up, left fingertips down. Or you could try a little bind. Bring that left arm around the front of your left shin, right arm behind the back, and open up your chest to the right hand side. Good, switch sides. Okay, so release. Let's take a little roll up through the spine. Really soften your knees, drive the heels down, draw the belly button in, chin to chest until the last moment, standing up nice and tall. Bring your hands to the heart center. Take a little moment, tune in. And then I'd like you to step your right foot out to the back of the mat, turn to the side of your mat. Reach your arms out to the side, interlace the fingers behind the back, lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, you're going to fold all the way forwards. It's okay if your knees are bent here. And energize your fingertips down towards your mat. Bring your head through the legs as much as you can. Good. Take one more full breath, breathing in, breathing out. Release your fingertips down to the ground now. And I'd like you to look forwards on your inhale. Bring the hands up to the hips, lift all the way. Exhale, hands wide out to the side. Inhale, lift your chest, hands to the hips. Exhale, fold all the way forwards once more. Bring your hands inside of your feet now, elbows bent backwards, and fold forwards. If your head reaches, you can try your tripod headstand from here. Make sure you can see your fingertips with your eye gaze. Make the top of your triangle with your head. The elbows are drawing backwards like you would for chaturanga. Keep your legs wide if you're up. Good. Now we're going to bring the legs all the way back down. Exhale to do it. Look forwards on your inhale. Exhale, you're going to go and frame your right foot at the back of the mat. Bring the back knee down. Inhale, raise the arms up, look up. Kali Mudra, index fingers out, thumbs crossed. Open up that chest, square your hips, squeeze Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, the pelvic floor and the lower abdomen. Now from here, exhale, twist. Left tricep outside of your right thigh. Lift your back knee if you'd like to make it more active. Really breathe into the belly. If you have a bind, you can take your bind. Left arm underneath the right thigh, right arm behind the back. Look behind you if you have that bind. Beautiful. Release the back knee back to the mat, raise the arms up, and then from here, fingertips go down. We come into our half Hanuman hamstring stretch. Walk the fingertips ahead, stay wide across your collarbone. Now, if you want, you can stay here. You could even sit your seat back to your heels and stay in your half Hanuman. Or maybe you're going to go a little bit further forwards into that split stretch now. Bring that front heel a little bit further forwards, back knee back. Keep squaring your hips. You might even put your hands onto blocks. Keep the chest lifted or stay wide across the collarbone, even if you want to go into a forward fold. Keep looking ahead of you. And remember, it's not about the results. Wherever you are is fine. We do so much with our legs, walking, dancing, running, right? And that's why your muscles get tight, because you're living your life. You don't always have to be super flexible. Visiting the mat is enough. From here, we're going to try a Vashisthasana side plank. If you have your full splits, you might be able to take the big toe, or if you're close towards it. Or you could take your right foot and just stack it on top of the left. You could even bring your bottom knee down and lift the top leg to modify. There's always the tree as well. Good. From here, we step that right foot behind the left onto the ground for wild thing. Left leg is straight, right knee is bent. Really lift up your chest. Right hand down, right leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, step the foot between the hands. Inhale brings you to your high lunge. Exhale, we're going to fly to our warrior three, our standing splits. Good. Now from here, you guessed it, we're going to hop for handstand, look forwards. Good. Now maybe you're just going to try for that straight leg version this time. You could take little bunny hops again if you want. Here I can really see that I need to plug my rib cage in. This is the advantage of filming yourself. And maybe I would tuck my chin under a little bit more. Shoulders away from ears. Okay, we slowly come back down, right foot forwards, left foot steps about halfway down the mat, pyramid pose. Bring your hands to the hips, lift up halfway, inhale. Exhale, we bring that left hand outside of the right foot onto the ground or a block. And your right arm lifts all the way up to the sky. Look up. Open up your chest to that right hand side and keep squaring your hips. Then we're going to turn it all the way around to the front of the mat and take pyramid pose facing the front with that rotation. Your right hand goes outside of your left foot and your left arm is up to the sky. Maybe your hand is on a block. Don't worry if you use your block. Good. Now from here, I'd like you to turn back to the side of your mat and we're going to bring it all the way back in for a little bit more of that handstand hopping. Bend your knees, straight legs out to the side now. Bend and shoot your toes out to the side. Bend, shoot your toes out to the side. Good. Don't worry about what it looks like. Just get height. Look for that height, and you want to point the toes as your legs go wide out to the side. Maybe you get that little float. Bringing the feet back down, and we're going to turn towards the front of the mat. Bring the back knee down, raise your arms up, inhale. Look up, keep squaring the hips. Open up that chest. Good. Okay, so from here, we're going to take it into our twist. Right tricep outside of your left thigh. Look over your shoulder. Maybe you lift the back knee. Maybe even take your bind. When you think about energizing the right heel away to the back of the room, breathe into the belly. Beautiful. Release the back knee down, raise the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, fingertips come all the way down, half Hanuman. Flex your left toes, square those hips. Maybe sit in your seat back to the heels, staying in your half Hanuman. Or if you want to go deeper, slide that left heel forwards, the back knee back. One side's always going to feel a little different to the other. I'm recording this with a tiny little bit of a back injury at the moment. It was on its way to getting better, but I'm feeling stiff. So this is my yoga here, just accepting where my body is today may be different to the last time I practiced. Same for you, perhaps. That's fine. Accept it, breathe into it, acknowledge what you have in the body to be thankful for. Okay, release. We're going to take it into our standing splits from here. Bend that front knee. We're going to take it into our Vashisthasana. Take a hold of the big toe, or ordinary Vashisthasana, maybe even your tree. Good. Wild thing. Both hands down, and now we step that left foot forwards. High lunge on your inhale. Exhale, fingertips down, standing splits. Lift that right leg high to the sky, and then we go handstand hops. Maybe bunny hops, maybe trying your counterbalance, or can you try for that straight leg version? So if you're like me by this point, your arms are tired, okay, don't worry, just keep going. It's when we're tired and we still keep trying, that's the exact point when your body starts to get a lot stronger, when our muscles hit fatigue and we push a little bit past it. We want to get to that point where we feel like we can't do anymore. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, couple more tries. When we fail and we try again, that's the key. Maybe even try your wall if you want. And remember, use the exhale for your jump. That's where the work is. We want to use the exhalation to lift us. Okay, so now we're going to turn back to the side of the mat. Heel toe your feet wider and wider out, and we'll come for Sumakasana, that wide leg splits or your box splits. Again, my body is a little tighter here today. But think about pushing your hips back. Maybe you're getting a lot lower than me. Okay, good. So arms straight, and then I want you to flex your feet and externally rotate from your hips and sit your butt back. Bring your hands, fingertips facing back, and sit slowly down. If that doesn't work for you, bend your knees one at a time and come to sit down. Meet me in wide leg split. Raise the arms up on your inhale. Exhale, fingertips come forwards and walk them ahead of you. If this is too tight, you can sit on your block. Try again with the forward fold. or you can even just stay upright. You're still going to get a stretch for your inner thighs. Just take a few more breaths wherever you are. Maybe you can even take the toes. Okay, release. We're going to take it all the way over to the side. So right fingertips inside of your right thigh and that left arm up and over. You might just walk the fingertips and reach over, or bring the forearm flat on that right hand side with the palm facing up and reach your left fingertips over to the toes. Wherever you've got to, think about really opening up your chest towards the middle. And then take it over to the other side. Maybe just the fingertips, or lay the forearm down, reach for the foot. Opening up that chest to the center. Look up. Good, release. Then from here, don't hate me too much, or maybe you do. It's okay, I don't mind. You're gonna lift your right leg without leaning back with your torso. Do that a few times. Framing the leg with your fingertips, and then try it with your reaching forward. So reach the fingertips a bit further ahead and try again. Lift. Don't worry if it's not a lot. Other leg, frame the leg, lift. 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 This is what helps you with handstand press. It's the activation of those hamstrings. All right, lean forwards. Lift. Lift. And one more. I'm your favorite teacher, right? I thought so. All right, exhale, we fold. Good. Lift up your chest. You're so close. We're going to take it into our butterfly. We're going to take it into our Janu Shirshasana. Bend your left knee inside of the right thigh and fold forwards. Even just walking your fingertips ahead is fine, or have the knee bent if you're super tight in your hamstrings. Lovely, let's switch sides. I must say, as I'm watching myself here, I do look a little stiff. I'm like a little old lady, but as I said, a little bit of a back issue just a few weeks before filming this. Fold forwards. We do our best to keep moving, right? That's the point. Yoga is here, union of mind, body, soul. We don't always have to be at our best, but if we keep moving, then we're doing the best for our body. But also, as a disclaimer, I did have a rest when I got my back injury. I made sure to have 1 week off from going to my mat. And you know what it's like when you're really into your practice. It's hard to take that time off, but sometimes your body needs it, so you've got to listen. Let's come to that butterfly now. Soles of the feet together. Bring the heels really close into your seat and fold forwards on your exhale. Try not to round the back too much for this variation when the heels are really close into the seat. We want to stay wide across the collarbone. Lift up. All right, challenge. Take your peace fingers around your big toes. Straighten out your legs. Keep your chest lifted. Balance on your tailbone. Keep breathing. Then a little transition. Tabletop legs or even straight Navasana. Breathe. Keep the chest up. Fingertips down. Do a little swivel. Hold. Stay up. Keep those toes up. Good. Maybe straighten your legs. Lower down. Hold it. Lift. Lower down. Lift. Lower all the way down. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Release all the way down. Well done. Let's take a little twist each side now. Take your knees over to the right. Outstretch your arms. Turn your head to the left. Maybe that left knee is coming a little bit higher up above the right knee onto the ground to increase that intensity of the twist. And then taking it over to the other side. Beautiful. Release back to the center. Straighten out your legs. Shavasana. Let it all go. Maybe take a big inhale. Exhale. Well done. Stay as long as you need in Shavasana. This is an important pose. Namaste. I'll see you on the next one.